How about them Cowboys?
Angry Cowboys fan, born to battle. Star on our chest means we never sell. America's team through thick and thin. When the star shines bright, that's when we win. Angry Cowboys fan.
What's going on, Cowboys Nation and angry Cowboys fans around the world? Y'all know who it is. It's your man, the angry Cowboys fan and Cowboys Nation, the playmaker, the man, the 90s 88 three-time Super Bowl champion for our Dallas Cowboys. Michael Irvin was on the Dan Patrick Show talking about this year's Dallas Cowboys team. But during the segment, Dan Patrick asked the playmaker to give the Dallas Cowboys a grade for this year. His answer didn't shock anybody, but I do have a rebuttal to his answer. So we're going to take a listen to the two clips that I got for y'all, then y'all know what we're going to do. We're going to come back and unpack this raw and uncut. So, angry Cowboys fans, let's take a listen to what the Dallas Cowboy Ring of Honor recipient, Pro Bowler, and Super Bowl champion and Michael Irvin had to say.
Give the Cowboys season so far a grade.
There is no grade to give outside of a failure grade. The standard, Dan, is the standard. That's exactly. Last week I was at St. Thomas Aquinas High School. We won our 7th straight state championship. Coach Roger Harriet and Twan Russell down there, the AD. And that's the one thing we always talk about at St. Thomas, greatest high school in the world. The standard is the standard. I don't want to hear how many records you broke this year. I don't want to hear what you did in statistics. I want to hear wins and losses, and are you in the playoffs with a chance to win a ring? And they are not. That's a failing grade.
Well, you know, Cowboys Nation, a part of me agrees with the playmaker, while there's another part of me that doesn't agree with this take. Understandably so, Michael Irvin's talking about the standard for the Dallas Cowboys, but I truly feel that he's going by a standard that Jimmy Johnson and the 90s Dallas Cowboys had. The standard hasn't been the same standard for the Dallas Cowboys in years. But don't worry, Cowboys Nation, I'm going to break this down during my raw and uncut portion, so make sure you stick around for that. Now let's go ahead and jump into the last clip that I got of the playmaker on the Dan Patrick Show.
There's some things to build on, though, right?
You found other assets. You found the George Pickens. I like what you've done with the interior defensive line, but still, Dan, those are ornaments on the tree. That's not the Christmas tree. The standard is the standard, and you want to make sure that you're getting in the playoff. And here's the sad part. It's not that you don't have enough talent right now. You had enough talent on this offense to put up 30 points a game, 40 points a game. And you for a while, you were averaging 40 points at home. Why, with the kind of talent you have on that offense, did that dissipate? So, yeah, you got to get in the playoffs. That's just what it is.
All right, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to everybody out there, Cowboys Nation. But I'll keep it a buck. A competitive team's goal is to make it to the playoffs in order to have a shot at going deep into the playoffs and possibly make it to a Super Bowl. But let's be honest, Cowboys Nation. How many times have you, as a fan, questioned if a Super Bowl was the top priority for the ownership of this team? You know what? Let's go ahead and get into it. Y'all ready for this raw and uncut? Y'all ready? Let's get it. Get ready for the angry Cowboys fans, raw and uncut.
I'm keeping it real. Man, keep it real. That's real.
All right, Cowboys Nation. For those who were able to witness the Super Bowl runs of the 70s and the 90s Cowboys, you saw a different type of team. You saw a different type of want. You saw a different type of determination, a different type of game than what you see now in the NFL. Be honest with yourself, Cowboys Nation. Is the NFL the same NFL from the 90s? Hell no. There are so many mitigating factors in today's game that can hinder a team from making it to the big dance. So many determining factors that can hold a team back from the goal that they feel that they should be achieving, which is a Super Bowl. But Dallas Cowboys fans that are about 43 years old and older, we got to witness the standard that Michael Irvin speaks about. We got to see what it took for the Dallas Cowboys to make it to a Super Bowl and come out victorious. Now fast forward to today and ask yourself, truthfully, does the ownership still have that standard, or is it just up to the players to hold the standard that the playmaker's talking about? But let's rewind it back to the 90s Cowboys Nation. Y'all remember the level of autonomy that Jerry Jones gave Jimmy Johnson when it came to the coaching of the Dallas Cowboys back in 1989. He allowed Jimmy Johnson to be the actual GM of the team. He gave him complete authority over hiring and firing. He gave him authority to cut players. He gave him authority to send players home. I don't remember Jerry nor Steven having a walkie-talkie in their hands communicating with Jimmy Johnson down on the sideline. It was purely Jimmy Johnson and his coaching staff running anything that had to do with the player personnel of the Dallas Cowboys, while Jerry Jones handled the promotion of the team as well as further exposure for the NFL through different marketing strategies. Kinda like it's supposed to be today. But that all changed when Jerry Jones got jealous and wanted some limelight from Jimmy Johnson. He wanted to be talked about as the reason why the Dallas Cowboys won. So, honestly, the standard hasn't been the standard ever since 1996. Since then, we went through so many coaches, so many quarterbacks, wide receivers, and coordinators, and so on. But the standard of the Super Bowl winning Cowboys was nowhere to be found, Cowboys Nation. The older we got, the more we saw that the standard changed. The standard changing from winning Super Bowls to winning ratings, to winning headlines, being the most talked about team in the NFL, not because of your team's ability to win, but your ability to be mediocre. But with Jason Garrett, Mike McCarthy, and now Brian Schottenheimer, has any one of those coaches had the same level of autonomy over player personnel that Jimmy Johnson had when the standard was Super Bowl victories? No, Cowboys Nation. You got fans screaming at the TV as to why they don't see players who are better players than the ones that are in the game not out on the field, and it doesn't have anything to do with talent or fit. It has everything to do with Cowboys front office politics. But Cowboys Nation, the standard hasn't been the standard because each iteration of this Dallas Cowboys team who made it to the playoffs had to do it in spite of. I'll say that the Dallas Cowboys probably had about 6 legitimate Super Bowl caliber teams through the Romo Prescott era that just couldn't get it done. The 2009 Dallas Cowboys, 2014, 2016, 2018, 2021, and 2022 Dallas Cowboys team had the physical talent to make it to a Super Bowl, but may not have had the right guidance. Wade Phillips, Jason Garrett, and Mike McCarthy, and not one of them could get players they wanted for the team. But if Jerry wanted the players, he damn sure would add them to the team. I tell you that, Cowboys Nation. But when I hear the playmaker talk about the standard, I feel it coincides with the philosophy of the organization. It can't just be the standard of the players or the coaches on the team. It has to be the standard for the entire organization. And for a long time, I've questioned the front office and their passion to do whatever it takes to get this damn team a championship. Not luck your way into the big dance, but bully your way into the big dance, just like the 70s and 90s Cowboys teams did. Now, y'all tell me, how can a team bully their way to a championship when you have your owner/GM injecting his philosophy and his wants to be an NFL head coach into the mix? Let's not act as if he got these teams whatever they needed in order to succeed. Shit, I remember Dan Quinn begging for a legitimate linebacker 2 years in a row and Jerry telling them no. So, is that the standard playmaker? But what I'm trying to say is that this Dallas Cowboys team never won a championship in spite of its ownership. Even in the 90s, Jerry Jones was apt to get the team whatever it needed in order to succeed. This is why they called him the Maverick, the Gambler. There's been no gambling until this year, and that was because Micah Parsons and his agent told Jerry Jones to kick rocks. That's because Mike McCarthy told Jerry Jones to kick rocks. If they would have played ball and went along with Jerry Jones's numbers, there wouldn't have been any gamble for Quinnen Williams or Kenny Clark or Logan Wilson. But I don't need my owner/GM making moves because he has no other choice. I don't want my owner/GM making reactionary decisions unless it's getting rid of a player or a coach that's not working for this team. And speaking of coaches that don't fit for the team, I need the gambler to put his compassion to the side and make decisions. If you visibly see that what you put together isn't working, don't just hold on to the coach because you feel bad because you let Wade Phillips go early. But the playmaker gave the team a failing grade for this year. Dan Patrick said that there's some things that the team can build on and go into the next year and actually work with it. We witnessed our offense balling this year, scoring points that with a competent defense could win any football game. We have to continue to move forward with what Brian Schottenheimer and this Dallas Cowboys team was able to put out on the field this year. You also have to move on from the players and coaching staff that visibly held your team back from the standard. But Michael Irvin spoke about not wanting to hear about individual stats. All that matters is wins and losses. But when you have one side of the ball breaking records while the other side of the ball is going in the opposite direction, you have to take those stats into account. You have to see who's making an impact for this team, and you have to see who's just here to collect a check. This has been your man, the Angry Cowboys fan. Cowboys Nation, what grade would you give this Dallas Cowboys team this year? Do you believe that there's some things that we could take into 2026 in order to make it to the playoffs next year? Y'all know how we do. We always talk about it in the comment section. If you're digging this content and you want to help get it to even more Dallas Cowboys fans, drop a like on this video, share the content with anybody that you know is a Dallas Cowboys fan, and if you're on your mobile device, make sure you hype this video. Doing so will almost guarantee that we get out to even more Dallas Cowboys fans, and they'll become Angry Cowboys fans, and we can root on our Dallas Cowboys for the rest of this year into the future. And if you are DC for life and you want to see the standard go back to the standard when Michael Irvin was on this team, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell to be notified whenever I go live, release a video, podcast episode, or film breakdowns. You can catch my Madden 26 and college football 26 gameplay on my new channel, the Angry Cowboys Fan Gaming Channel. I'll put the link to that in the description. But if Michael Irvin wants this Dallas Cowboys team to uphold the standard, then I would hope that the same expectation be held for the entire organization. You can't have the higher-ups' involvement hinder this team from the standard, and that's what's been going on for the past 15 years. But much respect to the playmaker Michael Irvin. Much respect to you, brother. I would love to take you up on that interview because I would love to pick your brain when it comes to today's Dallas Cowboys and what it would take to get this team back to the standard. But this has been your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan, and I'm out. Dang, Angry Cowboys fan, you done made it through the entire video. But if you want more content, you can definitely go to this video right here. Or if you want the latest episode of the Angry Cowboys Fan Podcast, you can go right here. But whatever you do, like, share, and subscribe to the channel, but remain DC for life.